This bad boy is the 8 Sleep Pod Pro, and it is an absolute dream. In this review, we're going to talk about why sleep temp is important and how this device, the 8 Sleep, helps achieve that ideal body temperature. So if you're new to the channel, I've had this recent epiphany and obsession with sleep. It's all been driven by reading the book Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. If you want an eye-opening introduction into exactly how sleep affects our daily lives and longevity, you got to read this book. So through my life, in law school, working in a law firm, I pretty much prided myself on my ability to perform on the lack of sleep. I'm a fucking idiot. So here we are, 32 years of age, and I'm in this sleep renaissance. I do whatever I can to make sure to keep my sleep debt low and improve my actual quality of sleep, all of which I track on my Whoop strap on my bicep. Now, according to the studies, there's nothing clinically validated as far as supplements that improve actual quality of sleep. If you notice, there's some of that legal massaging on those supplements where they use words like may promote sleep. Because I'm not just talking about the time when your eyes are closed, but the actual improvement of the sleep metrics that are important to you, like REM and non-REM sleep. The time when our body is actually undergoing recovery and our brain is processing information from that day. However, what can improve these metrics are proper sleep habits, which include changes to our environment. So as far as the environment goes, let's talk about body temperature in bed. So everyone knows our body temperature on average is roughly 98.6 degrees. But before bed and going into our sleep cycle, we can see about a 2 Fahrenheit decrease or even lower. This has to do with our circadian rhythm. During the day, a lot of physiological processes are going on in our bodies, including heat from food digestion. At night, our body starts to wind down and slow down rates of metabolism and release melatonin. Our bodies start to decrease in temperature and we get tired. This can start about 2 hours prior to bed, and that's if you're not stimulating your body with things like your exposure to light. Now, the best environmental sleep temperature for us is about 60 to 67 degrees according to studies, with 65 being in that Goldilocks zone. But are most people really setting their thermostat to this temperature? Probably not. Mine's usually set to about 70 degrees all day, but at night I feel like a furnace. I've always been someone during sleep that switches between covers on and kicking them off. So when there was a product out there that could understand my biometrics and cool my mattress for me, I wanted it. So here's the 8 Sleep Pod Pro cover. A smart mattress cover that takes into account your sleep needs and tries to keep you in an ideal sleeping temperature. 8 Sleep always had the mattress, but if you're someone like me that already loves their mattress and spent quite a bit of money on it, again, anything for better sleep, then it didn't really make sense to buy a whole new setup. So this is pretty awesome, and it has all the same features as the mattress. You just slide the cover on like you would a normal bed sheet, slap on the top cover, zip it up, this is where the tech is, you plug it in, fill up the reservoir, and you're good to go. Over the course of the next several days, it'll start taking your metrics like resting heart rate, respiratory rate, and sleep movement using piezoelectric pressure sensing, ballisticardiographs, and temperature sensors on both the bed and the room. Then with all this data, it utilizes 8 Sleep's proprietary AI to adjust the temperature of the bed to the ideal body temp. As their website states, it can make predictions on what you need as quickly as once per second for every second of your night in bed. That's pretty damn wild. And with all that, that's exactly what's proprietary, claimed in their patent, and the market differentiator of the 8 Sleep over any other cooling mattress on the market. Interactive sensors related to specific user on the bed where biological measurements are taken, interpreted, and the temperature of the bed is adjusted. Then the question becomes, is all this necessary? I mean, for a king size like my bed, we're talking a price for this cover of about $2,000. The obvious answer is, that's all up to you. If you're watching this review, you're probably wanting to improve your sleep. We spend a third of our lives in bed, and as you get older and you still want to perform to the best of your ability, then why the hell wouldn't you want to do or use anything that can maximize that time of sleep? So let's talk metrics. I, for one, like I said, use the Whoop strap to track all of my metrics and trends. For sleep specifically, we're looking at monitoring our time in REM, light, and deep sleep, and spending the least amount of time in that awake stage as possible. I also would want to see improvements in my HRV, respiratory rate, and resting heart rate, which can translate to an improved daily recovery score. If you're not familiar with a lot of these metrics on the Whoop, you should probably check out my series on the Whoop strap, but for the most part, we're going to just talk about better trend lines from the use of this device. I've had the 8 Sleep now for a couple weeks, and here's what I've seen. First off, subjectively, I'm not feeling hot in bed at all. It's like sleeping on the cool side of the pillow. The device has dual zones, just in case you do have a partner sharing the bed with you. They can manage their own temp and that takes their metrics. I just keep my side of the bed cool because my dog likes to hog the other side of the bed. Also don't want any potential disruption in the metrics to be shown. I reached out to 8 Sleep to see if dogs in the bed can affect those measurements, but I didn't hear anything back. My assumption is just no, based on how sophisticated this device is. Another reason to do this is the reservoir, which can be an annoying feature. It does require distilled water and recommends the addition of hydrogen peroxide. This is to keep the lines from getting all nasty from the crap that's in our water. The water also evaporates as heat is dissipated and the mattress is cooled, so it requires refilling from time to time that you have to keep your eye on. Distilled water at the local H-E-B here costs 95 cents a gallon, but not something I expected to have to do. It is what it is, not sure how else you manage this, so if you only need one side of the bed cooled, it should reduce the amount of time that you have to refill it. Anyway, so a lot of metrics have remained consistent with the exception of a few. I have in fact reduced my time in the awake phase quite a bit. Whereas I'd be awake probably on average 45 minutes or more a night, I'm in the neighborhood of 20 to 30, sometimes less. I don't have those short stints of awake time where I'm kicking off covers. I've also seen the reduction of my respiratory rate. Now this metric isn't really something that has a gold number. It's very specific person to person. The standard adult, according to studies, have shown that you're about 12 to 20 breaths a minute while you're asleep. So unless you're feeling ill, you can see that number jump up. For me, it could just be reduced because I'm spending less time awake, which is definitely a good thing. I had never seen my respiratory rate get close to 17, and it actually hit. And generally, I'm like 17.5 to the 18 range. And related to this, my resting heart rate seems to be stabilizing to a more consistent reading day to day, even when I've pushed myself hard at the gym and feel really fatigued. Again, this may be attributed to the ability to stay asleep for more time throughout the night. So my overall sleep performance according to my Whoop has continually increased, where my last report showed a 6% increase over my previous average prior to the 8 sleep. For me, both subjectively and objectively, with my stats, it's trending into an excellent addition to my nightly sleep habits. What I am surprised is that I wanted to see an increase in my heart rate variability. Speaking of HRV, let's talk about the metrics on the mattress. When you look into the app, you get a number of metrics that I spoke about, including HRV, respiratory rate, and resting heart rate. Unlike a device like your Apple Watch or Whoop strap that utilizes optical sensing, this mattress uses piezoelectric pressure sensing. The only metric that I've seen match up closest between my Whoop and the 8 sleep has been my resting heart rate. According to the 8 sleep, my respiratory rate is like 7 breaths per minute lower, and my HRV is always higher. But that has a lot to do with when the HRV is captured, which I couldn't figure out with the 8 sleep. Again, reached out, but didn't get an answer. Now, as far as utilizing the metrics are concerned, if you don't have something that does this, like a smartwatch, then you can monitor trends on the 8 sleep. But as long as this data is properly interpreted into keeping my body the ideal body temperature while I'm sleeping, then you know what, I don't care. It just doesn't appear to be something I'll depend on for fitness and performance. But again, if you don't have something that tracks this for you, then it's a pretty neat thing to have. If you want more information on HRV, I also have a video on that. To me, it is the miracle fitness metric. And that's pretty much it with the 8 sleep. I love having it as a hot sleeper and would definitely recommend it to anyone suffering from the same thing. The fact that I don't have episodes of waking up, sweating, and kicking off covers is fantastic. And yes, I do always sleep with a fan, but it's constant balance of getting comfortable. You know, like when you lift the cover and stick your leg out and you're like, okay, now I'm perfect for now. It's not what I'm doing anymore with the 8 sleep. So if you like this video, smash that like button, hit subscribe for more videos like this. If other metrics that start to improve, I'll do follow-up videos, and stay tuned for that. Also, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm always posting updates to products I'm reviewing there. And hey, if you like podcasts, consider checking mine out as well. I always follow up with more information and products that don't quite fit in these videos or information. See you in the next one.